They fly around. They do a really good job of attacking the football, making tackles in space. They're a fast-flowing defense. They don't do a whole lot, but they do what they do really well, and they're very consistent at it. And they have some key players that you definitely have to be aware of. Just good football players. They've done a really good job drafting, and they've built a good defense.
Hey, welcome to Altitude After Dark. That is Bo Nix talking about the Houston D. It's DMac and Coach Mike Sanford. We're brought to you by Journey Spice, which Sanford loves, and I know Anne-Marie loves, and everybody loves the Journey Spice. Correct, Coacher?
Big Journey Spice guy.
Yeah.
Huge Journey Spice guy.
It. And you can get your Journey Spice going as DMac kind of flails around here by hitting this QR code right there, and you can save yourself 10% using the code GETSPICY. And no matter if it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you're doing, singles, doubles, quads, Amazon.com, use the code GETSPICY. More on Journey Spice in just a little bit. All right, let's talk about the Houston defense. I mean, that's really the story, right, Coach? Is the two best defenses in the NFL theoretically going after each other.
It is. It's the number one scoring defense in the Houston Texans, which gives up essentially 14.7 points per game, just shy of 15, that's dominant. But what that tells you too is that the Houston Texans offensively, even though they haven't scored a ton of points, they're in the back third analytically. This is a team that does play complementary football. But you look at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are a team where they create big plays defensively. They lead all metrics from a pressure standpoint, lead all metrics from a sack standpoint. But the Houston Texans, man, I'll tell you what, they that yards per play rank is elite. Where's the score points per game? 14.7. That's unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable, and it's something that I'm looking forward to watching this matchup.
Okay, so what makes the difference, Coacher, when you have two great defenses at the end of the day? What matters? What matters most?
Well, and that's where I think, even though the storyline is going to be defense good on good, they're not going to be on the field against each other, right?
Right.
We're not going to see Nick Benito lining up against Will Anderson. We're not going to see Derek Stingley Jr. and Talanoa Hufanga matching wits on the field. So it's going to come down to what I think is a really interesting side story here is, do you remember when the world was just anointing C.J. Stroud as Offensive Rookie of the Year, the next big thing? Well, guess what? Last year, he was labeled sophomore slump guy.
Mm-hmm.
Third year, I don't know, is he having the junior hangover?
The
sophomore was a bit of a slump. The junior years felt a little uneven. He did have a really nice performance in his last time out, 318 yards in the big win that they got a week ago. But I think that, Bo Nix has been a player that has had his fast rise, and then at times people just want to hate on him. Was he in danger before maybe the last 2 or 3 games? I'd say the last 5 quarters. Was Bo Nix in danger of the sophomore slump? Probably. But yet somehow, some way in that fourth quarter, to win the game against the Giants, and really all 4 quarters against the lowly Dallas Cowboys defense, Bo Nix has erased a whole lot of questions about his ability to be a dynamic quarterback in this league.
From a podcast, because who doesn't have one, Aqib Talib.
Dominate them boys in his class. All he did was get to the league, take his team to the playoffs, and now his team looking like one of the best teams in the AFC.
Jaden was in the NFC Championship last year.
Where is he now? He's sophomore slumping.
No, he had his little hamstring.
Injuries is part of sophomore slumping. Where's Bo? Bo's available. Bo's starting every game. Bo take care of his body in the offseason, so that's why he's available.
Injuries happen, you know that.
Yeah, they do.
You're not taking Bo over Jaden Daniels.
I'm taking the guy who got the best numbers out of his draft class. Who is that?
Jaden.
No, it's not. Bo got more everything. I'm taking Bo.
He plays like he drinks Red Bull and takes Adderall before every snap, doesn't he? Like, calm down, dude.
He's the best quarterback of his draft class. Keep drinking Red Bull and keep doing what you're doing, baby.
Okay, and here's the offensive numbers here, Coach, for the Broncos and the Texans. Broncos on the left, Texans on the right. Look at that, man. I mean, the Texans are just 6'7", as the kids would say, man, my man. And it's not like the Broncos offense is incredibly prolific, but look at the running. Look at the points per game, and they're sneaking up into the top 10 where C.J. Stroud and the Texans are, not great. Look at that third down percentage by the Texans, 25th in the league.
Pretty terrible for Bo and the Broncos too, though. I mean,
okay,
that's a terrible number.
Dude, 31st in the red zone.
This is a field goal kicking unit, man.
Yeah, Fairbairn, Fairbarn,
Micah Fairbairn.
Whatever it is. 31st in red zone, 25th on third down. Dude, that's why you have a quarterback. End of halves, end of games, third down, red zone. C.J. Stroud has mechanical issues. He sails passes.
Yeah,
he has a terrible completion percentage on 3rd and 2 and less. They can't finish. They are a non-finishing offense.
Yeah.
And the Broncos offense does finish. Not great on third down. I get it. But sacks allowed, you can get to C.J. Stroud. Coach, you can't get to Bo Nix. It's crazy.
Okay, so one of the stats that stands out if you're a Broncos fan, let's look at the left-hand column here, and that's the Denver Broncos stats. I mean, their mid is all get out offensively. You are dead smack in the middle of just about everything. But two stats that I really like that are complementary numbers when you're playing such dang good defense. You want to be good in the trenches on your offensive side of the ball to play complementary football. And so the two stats that I love for the Broncos with a team that plays awesome defense, I love that net rushing yards per game. You're 3rd in the National Football League. That means that you have the ability to control the line of scrimmage and at times build to controlling the game. The other one is that sacks allowed, which is the offensive line has been phenomenal, but Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. He just flat out doesn't. He gets rid of the football or he finds a way to elude the rush. And so being 1st and 3rd in those two respective stats, that speaks to the build of this roster, the investment in the offensive line, the depth of the offensive line to be able to have a guy like Alex Palczewski. That I heard your show yesterday saying, Tyler Columbus saying he doesn't think that he's going to Wally Pitt Ben Powers. I'm not so sure about that because I've watched the film and I think that Alex Palczewski is one of your best 5 with a fully healthy lineup for the Denver Broncos. The thing I want to point to, if you can, DMac, show that Texans. I want to look at the Texans. Really, they're a bottom 3rd offense in just about every category. But the one thing that they do have is this time of possession average, meaning that their offense somehow, some way has the ability to stay on the field, probably plays a lot of that death by 10,000 paper cuts, field position game. Yeah. They have a much cleaner special teams operation than the Denver Broncos. And special teams shows up in that time of possession average because of starting field position and being able to make some 4th down decisions to go for it, stay on the field. So the Denver Broncos, they got to find a way to stay on the field and get off the field to win this game.
Yeah, it's interesting going back and watching the San Francisco game. San Fran didn't have a first down until 50 seconds to go in the half. No joke. And it was all time possession. But guess what, Mike? The Texans couldn't finish.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that the Niners didn't have a first down until inside a minute of the first half, they came back for a quick strike touchdown and they go into halftime and it's like, 16-7. It's like, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. And certainly it gave themselves a chance. The Niners have their own issues, frankly, and it's amazing what Kyle Shanahan has actually done. But check this out. In the Seahawks game, the Texans were +3 and lost. They were +3 and lost. Why? I'm a broken record here. They can't finish. So this is the difference to me. Both defenses may be around the same. They are missing their top, and Christian Kirk and Nico Collins. I don't know if either one of them is going to go on Sunday for them. They have 3 receivers from Iowa State. They actually went back-to-back receivers, rookies, 2nd, 3rd round coacher in the draft last year. And they got another guy, Hutchinson, who's from Iowa State from a couple years ago. So they love the Cyclones there.
Big Matt Campbell fans. Huge fans of Matt Campbell action.
And then they got Braxton Berrios is the typical white slot receiver guy. And
one of those guys that is big into Instagram influencer. Kind of that's kind of his jam, right? If I'm not mistaken. I know about Braxton because my wife, apparently, I guess it's Alex Earl, is this Instagram super, like 700 million, I don't know, something crazy. The world population follows Braxton Berrios. I think it's his ex-girlfriend at this stage.
Okay, well, my point being, they're not an explosive offense. Listen, coach, any team in the NFL can throw it deep. So sure, blown coverages, you can get it. Woody Marks, good running back, solid running back, as is Nick Chubb. Solid. Not spectacular, but solid. They are, like you said, paper cuts, death by 1,000 cuts, if you allow them to do it. They just haven't faced a defense like the Broncos, coach. No. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and when you look at the list of victims that the Broncos have faced, and I'm talking about the quarterbacks, they all find a way to get into the top 10, top 15 in the NFL in teams that are most sacked, right? It's like if you've played the Broncos, you're like, well, we're top 10 in most sacked offense because, well, we played the Broncos. And that's just because that's what they do. They get you 7 to 9 times in a game. It's just kind of par for the course. Well, I don't love CJ Stroud, DMac, against when he faces duress. He looks like he gets overmatched, overwhelmed, emotionally gets hijacked. And I think that's going to play a major factor in this game. And not to mention, you brought this up yesterday on the radio. I was listening to you. This is a new offensive coordinator, right? And a year ago, and even CJ Stroud's rookie year, Bobby Slowick was the toast of the football world. And then he got ran out of there quickly after last season in the sophomore slump. Welcome to the world of coaching, right? You can go from the hero to the GOAT in a New York second. We've seen that in the college football landscape. Heck, we've seen it in Boulder, Colorado here the last 2 weeks. A hero beat Iowa State, and then you get obliterated and you're down 43-0 against Utah. It's just kind of the way the industry goes. So I still think there's a feeling out process for CJ Stroud with his new offensive coordinator and play caller. And I think that's going to factor into this game for the Broncos pass rush and ability to get home.
Yeah, it's Nick Caley, who spent most of his time with the Patriots, was with the Rams last year, and really is getting his first go at being the head honcho, calling the plays, and it looks like it. It does look like it.
You remember that with Philly too, when Philly had a guy that was pretty much a lifer, quality control, offensive assistant. He was the assistant tight end guy, the assistant receiver guy, and all of a sudden he's a play caller for the defending Super Bowl champions because he was Nick Sirianni's boy. Remember a guy? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he's certainly famous and infamous right now in Philadelphia. But I feel the same way with the Texans. That it's DeMeco Ryans, because he is such a good defensive mind. He's such a big presence. He's a dominating presence. It's probably been hard for DeMeco to find the right guy that's willing to go and be in the shadow of such a defensive-minded outfit, just like Robert Saleh was. When Robert Saleh was a head coach, man, you just couldn't ever find the right guy to call the offense opposite such a defensive-minded head coach.
Of course, you're talking about the beleaguered Kevin Patullo.
Patullo. We had some fun with Patullo, didn't we? Both before and after the contest.
Because they had the bro thing, with the arms and the pros and a pro, and it's all the bro shit with those guys.
So much bro.
There's a lot of bro going on there.
Yeah, there was. It's like Tyler Columbus, the famous gym bro, right?
Gym bros. Hey,
by the way, I thought about this when you and Tyler were talking yesterday about Mercedes Lewis, and I told you the anecdote about me and Mercedes.
Yes,
I told you that, right?
Yes.
You
played high school. You played high school against each other as quarterbacks, correct?
Yeah, we had a quarterback duel. A senior Mike Sanford and his 11-2 Los Alamitos Griffins, 11-1 Los Alamitos Griffins, facing off, and we shared a stadium with Long Beach Poly, home of Snoop Dogg. You could name several athletes that have come from that place, but we ended up facing, and Mercedes Lewis was a 6'7", 6 foot. How tall is Mercedes? He's huge, dude.
I think he's listed at 6'6", but
but just a huge human being. He was that height as a sophomore in high school, but about 100 pounds less. And he was the starting quarterback for Long Beach Poly. And that's how old he is, DMac. I faced him in high school, and he's potentially going to be on an NFL football field this weekend. So cool story there. I was thinking about, you were saying Jim Bro Mercedes Lewis, also Jim Bro Tyler Columbus. Who's to say that Tyler Columbus right now couldn't go be a blocking tight end in the National Football League.
We talked about it quite a bit, and I reached out to Patrick Smythe of the Broncos, and I said, I'm not joking around. Tyler's in the best shape of his life, at least a Tuesday tryout. What do you think? I have not heard back from Patrick.
Okay. I don't know that Patrick makes those personnel decisions. I'm not sure if that's necessarily his.
Well, who else am I reaching out to, Coach? Who else?
George Payton. Yeah, and you and Greg Penner are biking buddies. He'd take the call.
I don't talk to Greg about stuff like that. I leave well enough alone. I bug other people with my foolishness. But
so Patrick Smythe has to deal with the foolishness. He's the consummate professional.
He has to deal with the foolishness. And speaking of Mercedes, all right. Marcedes. Marcedes is Mercedes or Mercedes?
It's Mercedes Lewis.
Say it again slowly.
Mercedes Lewis.
All right. I present this moment.
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Okay. One more time.
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want it one more time?
Did we ever ask the man himself?
I wasn't there yesterday. I certainly would have, and I think. But is it Mercedes or Mercedes?
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
I gotta see. This has got to be somewhere on the worldwide interweb of him introducing himself.
Listen, while you look it up, let's hear from Mr. Lewis on his arrival, and he was hanging out at the Joshua Tree in a sauna. Here we go.
Intentional about, just my life going forward. And obviously I was in a position of I could sign to potentially get a 20th season, or it would be time now to whatever I want to do after that. And so what I will say is I was at peace the whole entire time, and it did feel good to get the call. I happened to be in the sauna at the time, and they were like, hey, I saw a number pop up on my phone. It was a Denver number. Obviously, I don't have it saved, so I didn't answer at first. I thought it was spam. And then I got another call, and then, GM left a message. I called him back. He's like, can you hop on a plane tonight? I was like, of course, I'm there. So I probably got here around 11:30 p.m., got to the hotel, did my workout, physical, and everything like that, and it happened that fast within a day.
How important is it to not just...
Okay. You got something for me, Coach?
I mean, I'm showing in all the pronunciation guides that I find right here. Okay, I'm going to go to the pronunciation guide from this is from the Chicago Bears, and I see actually when Mercedes was playing for. Oh man, never mind, can't find him.
No is an acceptable answer.
Gosh, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, listen, Sean is the authority.
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
That in mind. Mr. Lewis, if you don't mind, here's who this guy is.
Oh, I found it.
Up.
UCLA Bruins. Pronunciation guide from 1937 when he was a sophomore. And here it is.
I can't. You got to put it right in front of your face. Well, help me out because I'm blind. I'm sure people can see it. I'm not sure where. Okay. Mercedes. There it is. I see it in the middle. Mercedes. So Sean is wrong.
That's
Mercedes.
UCLA, man.
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes. It's
so
Mercedes.
What we've learned is when Sean explains something to you, he's not 100% accurate when you get Sean explained.
The guy is a body. You know what I think he is? I think he's a deep thinking, spiritual body guy. So I think he's a little new agey.
You're talking about Mercedes?
Yeah.
Big jiu-jitsu guy. Loves some. He's always big into MMA.
Okay.
Huge into MMA. He's always, one thing I've noticed about Mercedes Lewis, MMA, so UFC fights for the last 20 years. He's pals with Dana White and Joe Rogan. He's always, front and center in the octagon. He makes it to, I don't know how he's kind of like Jamal Murray. I don't know how he makes it to so many dang MMA fights. He's there at all.
All right. And a lot of those guys, I mean, there's a lot of, kind of idiots in that world, but there's a lot of guys in that world that are, like I just said, very body conscious, very health oriented, very disciplined. And I don't know where he is on his personal life with the wife and kids, if he has any. But I think seriously, age is just a number. And if you just do the right things, especially for whatever role you have, and he's just coming like as a blocking tight end, come on, man. We just need somebody who's willing, who's got the right mind space and the right physical ability. So I love this signing. I don't think it changes a ton. I just think it's a fun addition. And that sort of veteran leadership, I don't know how that's a negative in the locker room, that's for sure. So I'm a big fan, but don't forget the Broncos tried to sign 2 other tight ends, and they got caught up in the waiver wire, and, they got snatched up before the Broncos got to them. That's the price you pay when you're too successful. So he was the 3rd choice in this particular role, and we'll see what happens because Atkins and Surtain, Atkins did not go on the IR, Coach, which I think is a good thing, right?
I think it's a great thing. So of this below average tight end group that Denver Broncos have, I'd call them average. They're average. Evan Ingram, now that he's starting to arrow up, you at least have some ability to throw the football to your tight end group. The guy that I've liked the most is a well-rounded tight end that gives you versatility. And I saw this a year ago at training camp. Nate Atkins is the guy that, frankly, you don't need Michael Burton on your roster. You don't need, is it Prentice? What's the guy? Prentice?
Adam Prentice, yes.
Adam Prentice. You don't need him on the roster.
No.
But, now that you do have an absence of Nate Atkins, there's some concerns for me about some of your 12 and 21 personnel groups that you want to be able to utilize to get some of your run game. So Evan Ingram's not going to play that role. I think Mercedes Lewis can. I think he can. He knows so many different schemes. He's a guy that's played in literally every single offensive scheme known to mankind. When you span that much, how many? What team is this for Mercedes? Is this 10?
No. He's only played on 4 other teams previously.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, he's played. He's got UCLA 2002 to 2005, not 1937. Jags for a long time, 06 to 17. Packers 18 to 22. Bears 23 to 24. So wait, I'm sorry. The Broncos are only his 4th team.
That's
so
insane.
He's on his 4th team.
That shows you. You know what that shows you is his character and his ability to be accountable. To be a 41-year-old athlete and only playing on your 4th team, that's impressive.
Very.
And I do see that. I believe he's a married man to Tori Brown, a former athlete herself.
Okay.
I think a UCLA athlete. He does have a daughter.
Okay.
So yeah, I think he's he's a family man. So.
Well, he's got a wonderful family then, doesn't he? Because they allow him to pursue his own path and be okay with it. Obviously, they're willing participants in the whole thing. So I'm saying A+ all around. Here is how Sean Payton views him.
Mercedes, just given how long he's played.
Mercedes.
Yeah. What do you mean to bring him in?
Well, he's someone you kind of follow his career, and I knew he'd been training. I know he's in great shape, and he's a tremendous blocker. I think you don't want to get caught where, man, it's got to be jumbo. And so we brought him in for a workout, brought him onto our practice squad. I'm glad he's here. He's a tremendous leader. I'm anxious for you guys to be around him. So good first day.
Love it. So there you go, that addition. By the way, I want to go back to the Texans really quick, Coacher. They have a fascinating situation. Their offensive line has been kind of all over the place. And currently, they rotate their left guard. That is not a joke.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
They've got Juice Scruggs and Laken Tomlinson. And they just – now, Tomlinson was on the injury report, so maybe they won't this week. But has been their modus operandi for the season so far. What do you make of that?
Well, sounds like there might be some issues making a firm decision. That's the first thing that I would see. I I was doing that for a while myself, the quarterback position, and it's challenging. I mean, especially that position, right? When you're going back and forth, and the reason I did it is I wanted to get the data that I needed to make the ultimate decision for the back half of the season and the playoff run. The reason that the Texans are doing it, I guess the age old adage of coaches, the ultimate coaching cliche is, if you got 2 left guards, you probably got none. And you've been saying that for years, DMac. Been saying it for years.
Also, so maybe an opportunity there for Zach Allen or whoever on the inside. You never know. I think the opportunities for this Broncos defense to feast on CJ Stroud are going to be interesting,
right?
Because there's a lot of elements of the Texans offense that does look similar to how Sean Payton was calling things for the Broncos up until, kind of last week, in terms of a lot of quick throws behind the line of scrimmage, a lot of screens, a lot of very slants, ticky-tack, beak, 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 beak.
Not the laser show that DMac's been looking for.
I think Stroud has the ability to make great plays. I do. I just don't think he has the right mechanics to be consistent with it. I think CJ Stroud is a decent quarterback, but that's it, man. And his rookie year, how about this for a hot take? That might just be the most successful year he has as an NFL quarterback.
Could be. I think this game's going to go a long way in determining that narrative, DMac, because he's going to have an opportunity at home where he just was able to gather some of the same confidence that Bo Nix was able to gather in the fourth quarter against the Giants going into the game against the Cowboys. But you got a home contest against the defense that is the cat's meow. I mean, it is. Everybody is talking about this Broncos defense. And if CJ Stroud ends up being the next victim to this defensive front and secondary, then I think you're right. If he has a breakthrough performance against the Denver Broncos, then I think the trajectory of his career changes. And frankly, that AFC South, they're not going to win the AFC South, especially with how the Indianapolis Colts are playing at 7-1. But they probably find their way into some semblance of playoff discussion. This is a must-win for the Houston Texans. This is you lose this game,
it's over.
It's over.
It is.
This is must-win football, man.
All right, speaking of the Broncos defense, I want to play this. The Pat Surtain podcast. At least the clips are entertaining. Here are the fellas talking about Riley Moss.
Pat, we was talking about your boy today, too. Riley.
I
ain't gonna lie. Go kill on the tape with Riley, boy.
Yeah, he been hooping.
Riley hard.
Nah, Riley balling, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I think they racial profiling my dog, though, man. They calling all these flags on my boy, man. I ain't gonna lie. The flags is egregious, bro. You don't understand, bro. He had a rep against CD. They ran fade. He was in perfect position, played the ball, played his hands. They called a flag on my dog. I'm like, I don't know what it is, what they got against him.
You think they profiling your boy?
Yeah, they profiling him, bro. It got to be, bro. I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you this, man.
Who's that in the middle? I know Terry
I'm
not
sure.
Terry and Arnold is all great. I mean, all kinds of personality. He's on the bottom there. He's the DB that was drafted out of very, very impressive dude at the Combine 2 years ago. Yeah. Plays for the Lions, but the guy in the middle looks familiar. I'm trying to remember who that is.
I'm sorry. I'll look it up. But let me just throw this out from Zach Stevens from DNVR. Riley Moss has the lowest catch percentage in the entire NFL per Next Gen Stats. Teams only complete a pass when throwing his way 46% of the time. That is the best in the NFL. Okay. So life without Surtain, how would you draw it up? Would you be trying out Jahdae Barron on the outside, or is this just Chris Abrams' drain? Where does Riley Moss go now? It's going to be at least a couple games, maybe 3 without Pat Surtain. How would you call it? How would you design it?
Rookie Jahdae Barron is going to have his volume increased at the nickel position. Veteran Jaquan, is going to probably get some reps at outside corner. I saw that a year ago when it was was it Levi Wallace?
Yes.
You didn't want him out there, frankly.
No.
And Jaquan McMillan was almost the security, kind of the safety blanket, the security blanket, even in training camp. If there was a day where Riley Moss or Pat Surtain were not available, I saw Jaquan McMillan go outside. I would say if you were to break down what I predict to be the percentages at outside cornerback, I think that Chris Abrams-Drain, Riley Moss are out there as the tandem on the outside, a minimum of 60% of the time. And then I would probably say that there is a Jaquan McMillan outside role. And I think you're going to see an overall uptick in how many snaps Jahdae Barron gets, partially because of how he played a week ago, got his first interception. But also I think just because Jaquan McMillan has proven to have the technique and the schematic knowledge to be able to play both positions. Give me your pick for the game. I've got the Denver Broncos winning this thing, and I'm going to go 24-17. I think it's going to be a 7-point win for the Broncos on the road. I got the Broncos winning 2016 because I do not think they can finish, but they can move the ball. So, and I'm talking about the Texans. I have a moment of zen for you. I love when it gets zen. We actually have two moments. Prime talking about Brazilian buttless and a crazy governor from Louisiana. What? That's coming up here in a second.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Use the code GETSPICY and save yourself 10%. See you against Arizona. Kickoff around 5 o'clock or so. I'll be at Rally House, which is a great clothing store on Pearl Street, doing a preview from 2 to 4 p.m. where anybody can ask me any question. I'm not sure what the questions are going to be. This will be on the digital, by the way, if you're looking for an interesting watch on Saturday. But it hasn't gone well, obviously. It was the most chaotic moments we've seen, and, well, probably since you were there, frankly, Coach. But you didn't have the players primed it. You didn't have the coaching staff primed it, and you certainly, especially because you're doing this podcast, were not being paid the salary. Okay? So I just want to – and you – didn't get the opportunity to just, have 2 years to build the program any way you damn chose. You were doing the best you could with what you were handed, hoping the students could rush the field again after that great Cal game. Yeah. I'm just pointing out the reasons that CU was struggling and where they were a couple of years ago. To be back in that same situation at any point, to me, is inexcusable.
It's not good. It's not good. It is inexcusable. I mean, I'll tell you this. I was judged and evaluated and frankly terminated for my second year on the job. Without the opportunity to get a full recruiting class at Western Kentucky, I was terminated after my second. I was a bowl game coach my first year and terminated my second year, playing basically my entire group of freshmen and sophomores that I'd recruited. And those guys ended up being good players 2-3 years down the road. Year 3 is that is where the evaluations really start. And the early returns are not positive. It's proving what I believe to be true a year ago. And it's a little bit of an indictment, if you will, on maybe the state of the CU program, but it's also an unbelievable compliment to the head coach's son, Shedeur Sanders. I thought he was an unbelievably transcendent talent that covered a multitude of sins in that program. And he rose boats around him. Do you notice what's happening offensively with Pat Shurmur and with the offense and the receiver position that looked once so promising? The Drelon Millers and the Omarion Millers, they look pedestrian at best now with Caden Salter playing quarterback. Shedeur Sanders was the guy. Travis Hunter was obviously the most exciting and dynamic player to watch, but Shedeur. So on one end, Coach Prime, this year's unacceptable. On the other end, man, your son's a hell of a player. And I got to tip my cap to him. That's how I feel.
All right. Here is Coach talking about patience and Brazilian buttless. And I didn't know what BBL was, but it brought out one of the greatest expressions I've ever heard in my life.
Shane Holcomb, Scobo Sports. I just want to get your comments on, recently we've seen a theme across the college ball landscape where, teams are moving on from their coaches faster than ever.
Yeah,
do you think that, these schools and fan bases have lost the sense of patience in the process of building something?
Well, there's no one patience in this world. How do we exude patience when we could call up right now and get a pizza delivered right here? That you could call and get a ride waiting outside for you. Everything is expeditious in this country. Everyone wants the quick fix, the quick things. You got mail order brides too, right? You get married, right away. You could get a BBL. You could come in here flat as I don't know what, and leave thick as a Snicker. So this is a different country that we live in, man. Ain't nobody got no patience no more. I understand that, and I don't either. I don't have patience as well. I want things done right now because I'm used to getting up there working, putting in the work, and you want the results from the work you put in. It don't oftentimes work like that. That's a great question. I appreciate that.
Man at a crossroads with a great expression. You come in flat, you leave thick as a Snicker. I mean, come on, man. That is fantastic. Make that a t-shirt. But the problem is the contrary terms. Patience. Nobody has patience. We should have more patience. Guess what? I don't have patience either. But I get it. It looks like you don't have patience.
We see the contradiction here in the sense that Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter coming to your campus in years 1 and 2 of Coach Prime was the BBL. Right. That was the I'm not patient.
That's right.
Am I stupid in saying that?
No, of course not.
When I took over as interim head coach, I didn't have a world-class quarterback and a two-way star. You'd be like, hey, come on down, man. Here's my BBL. I am thick as Snicker. All right? That's who I am today. To me, it's pretty clear. It was a quick fix to get people excited immediately. And now we're talking on the other end of the aisle. We need to have patience. It wasn't built like that. No. It was built as a Brazilian butt lift. It was built as Uber or DoorDash. Right. It was built to have a pizza at your beck and call within minutes. Right. And it was brilliant. Rick George had to do it. The program was at rock bottom, and it had to have excitement and energy and some tangible results now. And you got it.
Yep.
But you don't have it now because it wasn't a long build.
Right.
It wasn't built through the recruitment of high school athletes. It was the now get rid of all of this bad luggage and bring in Louis. Louis's great for the day trip. Louis doesn't last for the cross-country trek.
Well said.
And that's what I see.
Okay, well said. And you want to look at a team doing it the right way. Look at the Denver Broncos. Eventually, Sean Payton got rid of Russell Wilson, which wasn't his fault in the first place. And then they did build. They built because they committed to a quarterback to develop that quarterback, and they had money eventually for free agents like Hufanga and Greenlaw eventually. But then they just, they did well in the draft too. And now they're retaining their stars like Surtain and Jonathan Cooper, who was a 7th-round draft pick. That's building, man. And Nick Benito, who was a late 2nd-round pick, last pick in the 2nd round. That's building. Good for George Payton on that. Good for Sean Payton for understanding the value of a quarterback. And certainly good for Greg Penner to understand the basis of business and how to build things up. It's too much chaos there at CU, my friend. It did work for a little bit, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm not advocating for Prime to be fired. Nothing like that. No way.
But why? Because he did enough in his first 2 years to warrant the fact that there is the possibility of exciting.
But now they have to do something very, very difficult. They have to build as if they just began. And you have to kind of forget about those first 2 years, period. And we don't know if Prime has that ability. We know he has the ability to do what he's done with the Louis, but has he ever built a program? Ever? The answer is no. He's always had Shedeur in his side pocket. And you're right. That cures a lot of problems.
For sure.
Speaking of disposable coaches, I thought this was AI. I'm not going to lie.
I'm still convinced it is AI.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's got to actually show me proof of life that this is real. Somebody that was actually physically there say, I'm here and I'm recording, because this is AI. It has to be AI.
I thought so too. Apparently it is real. It's some sort of press conference with the governor of the great state of Louisiana. I mean, it is like Bobby Boucher became the governor of the state. Seriously. And this is in light of Chip Kelly being fired, right? Not Chip Kelly. What am I talking about? Brian Kelly, sorry. And how much money did they owe Brian Kelly? $53 million, right? Something like that. Okay, here we go, folks. Enjoy your gumbo.
Absolutely correct. We are not going down a failed path. And I wanted to tell you something. This is a pattern. The guy that's here now that wrote that contract cost Texas A&M $70-something million. Right now, we got a $53 million liability. We are not doing that again. And you know what? I believe that we're going to find a great coach. I mean, maybe we'll let President Trump pick it. He loves winners. You know, I'm not going to be picking the next coach. But I can promise you, we're going to pick a coach, and we're going to make sure that that coach is successful. And we're going to make sure that he's competent.
It went on and on like that for like 5 minutes. It was like, and he's scolding the media.
All reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people, like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodard's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent.
I wish I could play the whole thing because it's priceless, Coach. But that is for real. That is not AI. They are not the AD is not going to be allowed to hire the new coach. It's going to be a committee because it's state funded.
Darren, what are we doing?
Wow.
What are we doing?
Wow.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Who's going to take that job?
Well, how many millions are you going to give me? I mean, listen, I understand LSU got embarrassed and all, but they still have a winning record. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
Think about it. Think about it. Brian Kelly probably took that job in order to get fired and get that $53 million.
Don't you think? He faked the accent. He did the dancing and all.
Perfect.
Just get me out of here. Get me out of swampland and get me to a Catholic church as soon as possible.
And he was in a private jet leaving Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He came in on one into Baton Rouge that was funded by LSU for LSU business purposes, and one that was funded by him, not LSU, but really funded by LSU and the great taxpayers of the state of Louisiana. Wild.
Absolutely wild. They're asking what's wrong with college football. You're what's wrong with college football. The politicians, this press conference is what's wrong with college football. You're it.
It's as bad as it gets.
I can't wait for Brian Kelly to be the next head coach of Boston College. That's going to be wonderful. He's gonna kill it there eventually.
Syracuse. I like him at Syracuse.
No way. We're having a down year, but we are. But our quarterback got hurt. Okay. And yes, that is what happened. I love Fran Brown.
Okay.
Keep Fran Brown's name out of your mouth.
Okay, Fran, go get it, man.
All right. Who gets that? You know who's going to get that job? Well, I don't know if he's going to get the job, but a guy who's going to be in the running for it is our boy down there at Arizona State, brother.
Kenny Dillingham.
Dillingham's killing it.
Yeah.
He has to play with Jeff Sims these days. Holy cow. I mean, that's Sam Levitt got hurt and they got to play with Sims, and that's not good. But if you want a coach that knows how to do things the right way, Kenny Dillingham is your guy. And they'll probably I don't know.
We'll see in the long game. We'll see in the long game.
Oh wow, you got your doubts about Kenny, huh?
He's got a lot of same tree as Mike Norvell in Florida State. Just remember that. Put that in your back pocket and stash it.
All right, we both have the Broncos winning. We'll see about CU, and we love Louisiana. Get your gumbo.
With Mercedes, just given how long he's played.